Hi, I'm Bill Thomas. I'm the pastor of the Little White Chapel Christian Church in Burbank, California. Burbank is not all that far from West Hollywood, and so last Sunday after worship, my spouse and I hightailed it over to West Hollywood to see if we could catch the ending throes, the final celebrations of the Pride Day Parade. The Pride Day Parade, begun by the LGBT community, is now a day which welcomes all kinds of diversity and celebrates the differences in so many different kinds of people. We went into our favorite Mexican restaurant and sat down at a little two-top, and I had hoped that someone interesting would sit down beside us. A couple was soon seated beside us, and when I turned to look at the gentleman sitting to my left, he had on a Make America Great Again hat. We had interesting company. We sat for a while, and finally I couldn't stand it anymore, and I turned to him and said, "So, where'd you get the hat?" He looked at me and smiled. He said, "This is my spouse. We've been married for 20 years. We are members of the Log Cabin Republicans." That means people who are both Republican and members of the LGBT community. He explained to me, they both explained to me, that they were fiscally conservative and socially liberal. They went on to applaud the present president, saying that he was more gay-friendly than any president who had preceded him. Thinking about the fact that trans people were now being kicked out of the military and that all four of us had gotten the right to marry as a result of the work of Barack Obama, we disagreed with him, and a spirited discussion ensued. One of the things we lifted up was how no one in a position of leadership, or no one at all, has the right to be insulting to people on the way they look and the way they think. About that time, the rest of the restaurant couldn't stand the fact that this man was wearing a Make America Great Again hat, and they began to stand up and yell things at him and demand that he be made to leave the restaurant at once. And he was called all kinds of names. And we were afraid that for a few seconds we were going to have to take on the restaurant and defend this couple against the people who were sitting in the room. Latin American theologian, the Reverend Dr. Pablo Freire, said that we have to be the ones to end oppression because those who oppress are so busy oppressing. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, "Be careful that as you gain ascendancy, you don't become like the very ones who oppressed you in the first place." In this restaurant, people were oppressing this couple without hearing their stories. Is that a correct thing to do? To make decisions about people because of the clothing that they wear? What would you have done? How long would you have listened? Would you have engaged this couple in conversation? Here at Little White Chapel, around the Lord's table, which is open to everyone, we lift up the qualities of inclusion, diversity, equity, and the right to wear what you like and to state your opinion. We try to engage at all times in respectful dialogue. Whether you come to worship on Wednesdays at 7, or Saturdays at 5, or Sunday mornings at 10:30, you're always welcome here. Come, bring your opinion. Come, bring your notions of what is meat. Come, find a welcome and loving conversation and congregation here at Little White Chapel. You're always welcome.